This is a presentation about biomagnetism, which is probably the closest that science can get to explaining what qi is, as in Qigong and Chinese medicine. One of my favorite books is this one. It's called Energy Medicine. Oops, it's round the wrong way. By James Oshman. And it tracks the measurement of magnetic fields and biomagnetism throughout the ages. I'm going to share something with you briefly. Okay. This is from a presentation that I'm doing on this book, which tracks the history of scientific investigation into electricity and magnetism. And as we know, magnetic fields are used in imaging, in healing, and they're fairly widespread now and mainstream. They go back a long way. The use of electricity in healing goes back centuries to the use of electric eels, actually, for healing. But this will all be in the presentation, which I'll load to the YouTube channel. But I just wanted to look at this in terms of why, when we gather online for classes and retreats, we can often still feel the qi between us. So when we gather online, we often have the image that we are actually in the same room, or we suggest that we're in a circle so that we can feel each other, or imagine that we're with each other, because Qigong is best done in community, I believe. But there may be some science here to suggest that our qi fields or our biomagnetic fields are actually connected. And this is what excites me about biomagnetism, bioelectricity, and qi. So, because we have sophisticated devices now, and because of quantum physics, we can say without doubt that a biomagnetic field exists. Apologies for my spelling. And it changes according to what's happening in the body. So we can see what's happening in the body away from the body. We don't have to connect to it even. Another thing to say there is if we look at the magnetic fields, and in particular the heart, because the heart has got the strongest electricity in the body because of the electrical pulse that drives the heartbeat. So it's consequently got the strongest biomagnetic field. So where you've got an electric current, you have a magnetic field around it. And we can say that the pulse of the heart can be measured anywhere because the blood conducts electricity. So the pulse of the heart can be measured from the fingers. So if we imagine that bioelectricity is qi, then the heart qi is always everywhere, if you like, because the blood is always everywhere. Further to that, when the magnetic field of the heart is measured, it spreads the widest, if you like, its influence is the widest. And because we now have quite sophisticated machines, as I said before, here's a quote from this paper written by McPhee in 1963, that we can say that the biomagnetic field of the heart extends indefinitely into space. Obviously, it gets weaker with distance, but there's no point at which we can say that it ends, which I find extraordinarily exciting for planetary and global healing. And And in particular for the connection that we find in online work, because in my mind, I'm just going to stop sharing, we can always connect, and this is becoming more and more evident as science gets behind it. So it's almost like um, science and intuition, human intuition, are just like coming together. But here now, I'd really love to do a little experiment with you, to enhance, hopefully, your Qigong practice and to see if we can experience this. And I think it doesn't matter that you're watching a recording of me either, because time and space, they're intimately connected. And my belief is that if you're there with me, even an image of me, then perhaps we can connect. Let's see how it goes. It's a bit of an experimental video, this, but I hope that you enjoy it. So I invite you to stand up. And I think we will just work on the heart because it's the organ which has the most potential in terms of biomagnetism. So stand in the Qigong position. We know that's around shoulder width apart with the feet, and we're soft. We're soft and receptive to the Qi of the earth, to the Qi that's around us. And be with yourself. And just dropping in the information that the magnetic field of the heart extends all the way around. So we tend to think of the heart as extending this way, but it also extends out back and to the sides just as strongly. So that magnetic field is all around us. Drop in also the idea that the heart is everywhere because of the blood. And because the blood conducts electricity, because it's got salt in it, some people think it's because it's got iron in it, but it's a conductor of electricity. So our hands, our heart is in our hands, if you like, as well as in the area that we call the heart. With that in mind, soften the shoulders and take the hands up so they're around where you think, if this is the center of the chest, just take the hands out. I think that would be the best description. Okay, so this is a very common standing pose in Qigong. And if your arms get tired, by all means drop them and start again. But let's just, for some moments, drop then our attention down into the heart. So in the Mantak Chia tradition, we would smile at the heart, so that might work for you. We just think about the actual organ there pumping blood around without us really doing anything while we're asleep, keeping us here, working alongside all the organs, but a key master player and some gratitude towards the heart and just that smiling connection. The emotion of the heart is joy in Chinese medicine. And let's just see if we can find a connection between the hands that are in front and the actual organ. And because Qigong is full of images and poetic metaphors, we could quite easily add colour or light, if that makes it sensible for you. See if you can extend, literally, the heart out to the hands here. And slowly lower the arms, just for comfort. Slowly lower them. Just keep that essence of having gathered chi from the heart, and turn your hands like this, so that the top hand is at the heart center and the lower hand is at the lower belly. And then let's just lower the top hand as if we're making that magnetic field, biomagnetism if you like, heart field, as if we're condensing it rather than losing it. We're condensing the magnetism. And then once you are fairly close, like a football, like you're holding a football, turn it once again the other way, so that we're relaxed. We can really relax in the shoulders now, and we can just hold this ball of something that we might call chi in front of the lower belly. And check out the space between the hands, and check it out, you know, as if you were checking how much air is in a balloon. And see if you can feel the magnetism between the hands. You might feel heat as well in various parts of the inner arms. I can feel. I can feel that heart channel, because I know where it is. I can feel that lighting up. I'm kind of making this up as I go along, but let's just experiment with that heart field extending behind us. So we'll just change this, what I'm going to call the chi ball again, without losing any of it, make it a bit bigger. Step forward. And we do this very simple exercise of back swinging monkey. So we are slightly squeezing the shoulder blade towards the other one, and then as we come forward, we open. So I'll show you the movement. It's pretty simple. It's a bit like front crawl, but your hand is much lower. And it's as if now your hands are gathering the heart chi from behind. The shoulder blades contract and then they expand. So your focus is on the area between the shoulder blades now, the back of the heart. Following the in-breath and following the out-breath forwards, so that you are gathering from behind. And if you had that feeling of something between the hands, then it's just getting bigger, because you know the space is between the hands still exists. We don't lose that. And if it's useful for you to use a metaphor or an image, could be like one of those bubbles that children blow. So it never comes away from its anchor, it just changes shape as needed, and then it comes back. Or a piece of elastic between each hand was how I was taught. So there's a constant connection. And then we just come back to hold the ball again. See what's happening now. Check it out. Let it get smaller, very gradually let it get smaller. What's happening now? How does that feel now? Turn it again into a ball this way so we can relax. And we can do all sorts of things with this ball. For example, we can take it and we can do a little bit of gazing at the moon. So we hold the ball up. We're completely soft and receptive. We're holding it up to whatever we want, really, but in the poetic metaphor, it's holding it up to the celestial body that we call the moon. So we can get some moon energy. We can add that to our chi ball. So this is where, I believe anyway, these moves come from. They're a gathering, a harvesting of all kinds of chi for us. Okay. There's many other examples. But I think we'll stop there and just once again tune into the space between the hands. And then we're going to try an experiment here. Here now is imagine that you and I are in the same place, in the same room. So as you look at me, feel your presence. So you wouldn't be able to see me unless you existed. And feel my presence. And take your hands up so that your fingertips touch the center of your chest. And your hands are full of chi. Okay, so maybe you can feel them tingling a little bit. And your heart chi is drawn to them because they're like magnets. So who knows what's going on? Okay. And then think very lightly about something that brought you joy just recently. Really, it could be looking at the colour of a flower, seeing a bird, seeing a grandchild, a child, the eyes of a child, but just focus fairly intently on that. For me, I saw 30 goldfinches yesterday, and all in one place, and that was extraordinary. So I'm just thinking about that. And I'm just tuning into how that memory of a joyful moment affects the heart. And if you do that too, then I'm guessing our hearts are activated. And okay, I think I'll just stop, take this really slowly. Let's actually stay in, as I said, this bit of an experiment. Let's stay rooted, so our feet stay on the ground here. And then I invite you to just do this movement, which is called Dove Spreads Her Wings, which is opening the hands and feel the back of the heart as well. So not too far like this, because you close the back of the heart. So just at the point where you feel, if you had a bubble around the heart, it would be round, it would be still intact, nothing's squashed. And then come in again. So this is Dove Spreads Her Wings. Following the in-breath as we expand. Following the out-breath as we contract. And let's you and I do this for a little while. I have no idea how this is going to work for you, but I really feel immense joy and love, actually, to think that I'm doing this for somebody, maybe in a year's time. I feel very happy. So thank you for watching. And let's see if we can actually feel, like we did with the chi ball, feel that space that's emanating from the heart, and see how far we can take away our hands and still feel it. Play with that. Let's play with that. I invite you to play. And when we have done this for a little while, just like to say a bit about the physiology of doing this movement. So if our hands are like magnets, then the blood is attracted to them because of the salt and the iron, then the veins and the arteries and capillaries are slightly expanded, and I'm sure this is very subtle. So there's more space for the blood to move through. And because there's an electrical impulse across the gap, the synapse, I think it's called, in the nervous system, I can imagine that the channels through which the nerve pathways run are also expanding. And you'll notice I've gone from, doing a regular movement, and I'm playing around with this. And I think that's done. So I suggest that you just hold your heart and give thanks for it again. And maybe write something, just a few words, to bring any good experience that you had into reality, or make it tangible, some words. It's an invitation that I might take up. My heart feels incredibly warm now, and my hands. And to come back into your day, just place your hands over the lower belly. Tune into that connection. Send your attention lower down into the body, even to the feet. And then I think let's give ourselves a good old shake with the feet and the hands to bring ourselves back into the day. Thank you so much for being part of this wonderful experiment, and I'd love to hear your comments. Thank you.